In a garden, in an island, sprouts a bush among the clay, where the rains have failed to water, and the sun has gone away.
So Kat and I were very fortunate to be remote workers and complete a promise that we made to each other in 2021.
That's when we first met. This is our first 48 hours of our Asia adventure.
And if you need some loving, just come me now. Come on, lady, just a taste of you. I'm not thinking about tomorrow, 'cause I feel so good right where I am. And if you love
So we took off Thanksgiving night from LAX to make sure we made the most of our days. So we like to save travel days during days off so we could save our vacation days for days we want to actually do stuff. It took a total about 15 hours to really get there, but we had some great food, some wine, courtesy of our credit card points and some of Kat's hospitality tricks.
Shout out to Singapore Airlines. You the goat.
One of the best. So we had little to no time to really, stop from actually landing. We had to kind of really just drop off our luggage and go straight from there. As a fellow doobie, one of the first spots that we went to was Heap Seng Leong. I'm saying everything wrong, but it's Heap Seng Leong.
I can't wait until we get to other countries.
I'll do my best. The best part was going to this really rustic family-owned spot. It took a community to really kind of just do our orders. What is kaya toast, Kat? Could you describe it?
It's super simple, actually. It's just toast, a chunk of butter, kaya jam, which is like this coconut, really sweet coconut, delicious jam. And then I think it was like a poached egg or something. Or no, it was one of those onsen eggs. It was like an onsen egg that you dip it into. And then you have this coffee. I think I liked it better with hot coffee. I think I got a...
Kopi.
Yes, kopi.
I'll show you the diagram of the different types of kopi there are. But so after kaya toast, we still couldn't really check into our hotel. So we went off to Little India. It's just a little further out from the city center. The best thing about Singapore to me was the fact that, it's a blending of cultures. You had South Asian, you had East Asian. You even had some Western influences throughout the city, through the architecture, through the communities there. And you hear it through all the different languages that you kind of hear across the city. So, going to this hawker, Little India hawker, was really awesome. We settled on some biryani rice, but we also had some really great drinks, and just, kind of looking at everything was really interesting. So one of the things that I was excited to do was start hitting some of the top 50 Asia bars in Asia. So for those who don't know, Kat has been in hospitality for over 2 decades. She's worked at bars and restaurants all throughout the California area. And so I've learned to appreciate and love bars and bartending and cocktails all through her. But majority of the flavors that we like here in America have been Asian. So to be in Asia was awesome.
I mean, honestly, most of the top 50 bars in the world, a lot of them lie in Asia. And I never really understood it beforehand, but I knew I wanted to check it out. And being there in Asia and finally experiencing all of it, I think we hit most of them, if not all of them. I totally understand why. They're just so innovative and creative with their flavors and their techniques.
So our next spot was number 2, Jigger Pony, hidden within a hotel. Don't go into the mall next door like us on accident. But yeah, we were lucky to get there. They were celebrating their 10 years with their menu called Identity. I believe they've changed it recently, but this was to celebrate their past favorite drinks and also what is in store for them in the future. So we had a lot of great cocktails then. I had an awesome cocktail called Ugly Tomato, but we also had some great classics as well.
Shout out to Jigger Pony's team. You guys should all check it out and order Ramos Gin Fizzes, maybe 10 at the same time. Just kidding, don't do that.
For those who don't know, Ramos Gin Fizz is one of the messiest cocktails to make.
It's not the messiest, it's just the most, not the most, but it requires some bicep.
It's the shake wake of cocktails. So here's Kat drinking it in slow motion. And this was a great start to our cocktail experience. And it was just really the dip in the pool because we've went to some really awesome spots that we're excited to share you guys throughout the rest of our Asia trip. We're running on fumes. We just flew for 15 hours and we just wanted to get back and kind of really rest up. Started the next day. So day 2 was a little more different.
No more kopi.
The reason why Ken and I are in new clothes is because we're trying to figure out our life here in California. We're looking at apartments.
We're homeless. We're homeless. Help.
Yeah, so we're going from this digital nomad life and transitioning back to Southern California. But going into day 2, we went straight early into Lim Hawker. So the Hawker, just like yesterday where we went to Little India, they're vibrant communities of multi-generational families kind of making their life in Singapore. Hawkers are meant to feed the lower income families, and then there's also really, really expensive areas within Singapore, just like...
Crazy. There's literally crazy rich Asians.
Nice to meet you too. Chu, Gugu, Kuchu, you, Poo.
And then there's poverty. It's a little wild. It's really cool to see how they accommodate for those who have less income.
And so we started off, following the Michelin guide. We found Taiwan noodle, which was right in Lim Hawker Centre. There's already a line first thing even before it opened. And I saw another line forming at a place called Gigi Wonton noodle.
Gigi in Mandarin means penis. So I was like, obviously, John, go wait in that line.
I went in line for the penis wonton noodles. And so what was awesome is Kat and I were able to tag team and bring together 2 awesome dishes. Kat got a wet noodle and then I got a dry noodle. I think it was really good. Definitely trust the Michelin guide anywhere you go around the world.
Also trust lines. I think everyone just loves lines. And if you see a line, you just gotta wait in line. And to be honest, I actually like John's Gigi wonton noodle.
She knows what she likes. That's all I could say. I actually liked hers. Taiwan noodle was a little more gamey. It had
liver and heart,
but still had a large, flavorful broth that wasn't like Gigi. I think Gigi was a little more sweeter, but it was a great start to our day. We knew we wanted to explore Singapore. We were flying in 24 hours to go on to our next areas. We started exploring the more of the city center and started walking from some of the museums and taking buses around into the Art and Science Museum. So we walked by the bay, found the Art and Science Museum, and I knew I had to take Kat there because I knew there was an art lab exhibit. Future Meets Science was the setup. If you guys haven't been to the one in Tokyo, I've been there in 2019. Was an amazing experience, and I just knew I had to take Kat there.
I am like a huge child. Don't take me to an art museum, but take me to a science museum. Just kidding. That was an art and science museum. I don't know. I like things where it's interactive, and it was really cool. We got to draw turtles and squid. You can see it projected onto the screen, and it was our pictures were live in action in the ocean. It was super cute. What did you draw? You drew Squidward?
Yeah, I drew Squidward.
Squidward as a squid, and then I drew Ninja Turtle as a turtle. And it was really cool to see it pop to life. You were just like a little kid. We ran in some really cool obstacle courses, shoved children. Just kidding. We didn't shove children.
She's not lying.
Okay, we didn't shove children, but we're just dude, bruh, you're 8 years old, hurry the F up.
You're in the way of our fun. I love the one in Tokyo, and I would say this was probably maybe 40% of the art labs in Tokyo. So if you've been there, it might not be worth going to the Art and Science if they have that art lab exhibit. But if it's honestly your first time and you've never been to the one in Tokyo, it actually might be a great experience to go from that one into the one that's in Tokyo. So we stayed there, killed a lot of time. I think this is when we first fell in love with malls.
Oh my gosh. Malls in Asia. We just, for context, we just came back 3 weeks ago now to America. We went into a mall yesterday and I was like, wow, this is trash.
And I hated malls. I just don't like shopping in general. And so
I don't know, man. Malls back then when we were kids were the place to go. It was the place to go hang out with your friends. Imagine growing up at the malls in Asia. That would be wild. I would never leave. That's like Disneyland.
Great date spots. Yeah, just so much food. And this was just the intro to our love for malls. So we ate at the food court. The best thing to me, on top of all the things that I say are the best things of Singapore, is the fact that it's all connective. Things are walkable to take the bus to and from a lot of things. So we actually walk to the garden by the bay from the mall that we were at by the Art and Science Museum. It was a gorgeous walk. It was a little rainy, but we were able to kind of walk from something that was really industrial, city skyscrapers, into a huge forest full of different kind of trees and plants. And then from there, we waited for what I thought was going to be a very epic moment.
It looks really cool. via like videos, but I don't know if it was worth 2 hours of us waiting in the rain, hiding underneath 2 umbrellas.
So we walked to Garden by the Bay knowing that there was a free like light show. There's a lot of things to do. I would recommend seeing everything that the Garden by the Bay, because there's botanicals, there's all these different things that are going on. But we heard a lot of great things about the light show, and so we decided to wait 2 hours in the rain. We didn't have to. But we just kind of ended up in that position. We did a lot of walking and a lot of adventure stuff. So we just wanted to wait and just be there. And then, yeah, I think, it was great just being in it. Kat and I were pretty still fumed out from just traveling and whatnot. So, this was our first 48 hours of just being in Asia. I was just grateful to get there and just start this huge adventure that we're about to show you across a few different sets of videos. So
That was 48 hours in Singapore, folks.
And if you need some loving, just come be now. Come on, lady, just a taste of you. I'm not thinking about tomorrow, 'cause I feel so good right where I am. And if you look so fine,
I gotta do a better one. How do we close out?
Is this our thumbnail?
That's our thumbnail.